Hey, what's up, Jay? Hey, how are you?
We are good. We are out here in LA doing the rounds, and today ended up being a pleasant surprise. I had actually a lot of fun debating that dude.
Oh, dude, it was so much fun. I was laughing my ass off the entire time. Well, let me ask you a few questions because I got you on the horn about the debate. How did this come to be?
Well, I think that originally the Digital Social Hour podcast wanted me to do two debates, one with Brian Shapiro and then one with Captain Rock. And when Captain Rock backed out, I thought, okay, yeah, this guy's not going to actually debate.
Wait, did
And
you
then
say
Cool,
Captain Rock?
is that not his name?
No, it's
Is
his
that
name.
not his
It's his name. I'm sorry. I I was mispronouncing it the entire evening. I feel like you gave
Yeah,
us
see,
the
that's what
correct
well, you
pronunciation.
don't know Hebrew. You don't know Hebrew.
I
If you knew
know. My
Hebrew,
bad. My bad. You're right. I
you
don't know
knew He
Hebrew.
yeah, so this was ended up being like a backup debate that, Cooley wanted to set up, and he was like, "Well, how about one of these Hebrew?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So, at the same time, the, guy from Modern Day Debate was like, "Hey, will you debate, the" So I guess this guy was really eager to debate me, so I think that's how it happened.
Well, they're pretty hungry for clout. They had a little bit, this was a couple of years ago. There was a news
Yeah.
story on them. I don't know if you remember that or not. You recall that?
No.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
there was a big news story, a bit of an expose. Some cameras followed them around. That was kind of their introduction into the limelight. Other than that, it was just debaters who would have fun with them because they're crazy, right?
Totally.
But ever since then, they have really been clamoring for that limelight with high tier debaters. So it didn't shock me that you were on the docket to do this debate. What they do is they target the most mentally ill people from whatever
Yeah.
adjacent audience they can. If he only peeled off two audience members, I'm sure he feels like he did a great job, right?
Yeah.
The
Well,
the thing is though is that that's a double-edged sword because
yeah.
I think you peel off way more audience members than they do.
I think so. Also, I think the best description of this belief, somebody told me in the chat, they were like, "Hey, you're going to debate this guy." They're really just a prison gang that became a religion, and I think that makes the most sense. I think that's where they do a lot of recruiting. So I didn't expect high tier stuff, but ironically, that guy actually did call into one of my open debates about 2 years ago. So I kind of knew where he was going to go. I remember that call in. And really, all he does is whine and go back to white man bad whenever he starts having a problem. So I knew that's where it was going to go. But I'm actually glad that we got into some real issues because that's how you really show how stupid they are. I mean, they can't base it. They can't grammar, dog.
Well, it was really funny the ideas that he had on the church fathers. So you brought up a pretty compelling argument.
And I asked you multiple times, how do you know that you have the right Bible given that you said the church fathers are garbage?
Can you repeat the question, please?
You said the church fathers are all dumb and garbage, but the church fathers have the oral tradition that lets us know the authors of the gospels, the authors of the epistles, and they put the Bible together centuries after the time of Christ and the apostles.
And you want to know why do I call them dumb? Is that the question?
No. Do you want me to ask the question for the fourth time? How do you know you have the right biblical canon?
Oh, thank you. Because the church, actually, I know I have the right biblical canon because the church fathers don't know it, and I do. That's how I know. Because when I look at what the church fathers are saying, when the church fathers are saying that there's a Trinity in the Bible, but when I read the Bible, I don't see Trinity, I know that the church fathers don't know what they're saying. And I know that the Lord will put his spirit, just like he put his spirit on Judas to do his job, he put his spirit on Saul to do his job. So having people maintain the records does not mean that you understand it. In the book of Amos, the 3rd chapter, it says he revealed nothing except to his prophets. So having the Bible in our hand, you know what they created? They created a white image of Jesus, even though the image that they have of Jesus does not matter. So just because they have the records and they portray and they give us something does not mean that it matches biblically. That's why Paul said, let God be true and every man a liar. So the Orthodox Church are dumb and they're liars because nothing they teach can be substantiated in the Bible.
Oh my God. Yeah, like I thought the debate was pretty much over. And so I'm actually glad whoever sent that super chat to bring that back up because that was just another kind of round two nail in the coffin. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, that one stuck out. And then, he totally fumbled on making these dumb ChatGPT assertions when it came to Irenaeus and Nicaea, and like he
Yep,
had no
yep.
idea about
Well,
time.
he fumbled on the councils badly, and then he started reading a source. And by the way, it was a worse source than Wikipedia. I'll send you the source. I pulled it up on stream. So
Did you? So it's probably some like Jehovah's Witnesses or
no, it was
something. Like
just
what is?
it was pure AI.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and
So
I got it almost word for word what he was reading.
So when you actually look up, if you want to go scholar, anybody can look up Frank Cherry, William Saunders. You can look these people up.
You ready for this, guys? Frank Cherry was an American preacher. Cherry claimed to have a vision that African Americans are the descendant of the ancient Israelites during his time abroad. He then established and led a congregation in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1886, where he preached that white people were inherently evil and hated by God. Wow, what a source. I know it was AI, and it was Google AI too, which makes it even worse, right?
well, I said, oh, you
ChatGPT will have a
Gemini.
little bit of
I said
nuance.
Gemini.
Yeah, well, you know how like Grok can be somewhat useful and ChatGPT can
Right.
be somewhat useful, but Google AI is almost never useful.
Nice start.
Yeah, you know, in almost it'll almost always affirm the bias. So,
Exactly. But
yeah.
too, I mean, there were so many places like where it was just comical that it actually ended up being great comedy gold. Honestly, like I was having fun with it. I think early on, he fumbled pretty hard. This kind of got overlooked because we shifted into other topics. But I mean, the word nations just means proper or general referent. It could be either one. And you notice the same thing with God, proper or general reference. So they don't understand nouns, proper nouns and general nouns. Like they don't get that it can refer to one thing or many things. So they get really hung up on words. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with the word stuff, but I think
Well, I
that
mean,
was pretty.
but that matters, right?
It matters
We're
totally because
talking. I mean, we're talking about words and how they have a relationship with context.
yeah,
And without proper wording, you don't have proper context, right? It's pretty simple.
especially with Romans 9 through 11, and I think this guy doesn't. I mean, they dupe people with grammar mistakes. Like they trick people with word sorcery when basic grammar would actually keep people out of these crazy cults,
But
right?
what about
So,
the fact that you trick people with KGB sorcery, Jay?
well, I mean, that Dugin
Do you want to
coin
talk about that? A
is fun.
chatter earlier said, "How did I meet you?" And I told them that I have a KGB contact who introduced us. Do you want to go ahead and affirm on air that that's true?
It is true,
Yeah.
and you can clip this and expose Rachel and Andrew for good. Rachel's actually an NKVD honey trap. Is that right? She was brought in by Stalin,
Listen
trained by.
to me, comrade. We have exposed too much already. It's too much. It's too much. I'm going to start playing the Tetris music now. But
Well, I did interview Dugan 10 years ago, and according to Brian Shapiro, anyone that you talked to, you are now part and parcel with that person, and you share in their unrighteous deeds. So if you talk to somebody, you're basically bad.
yeah, I saw your debate with Brian Shapiro. I did cover a little bit of it because I thought it was fun, especially at the end. He mostly just filibustered the entire debate. He's good at doing that. The This guy was doing a bit of filibustering too. I did think that Fugazi did a pretty good job of reining it in. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I remembered when that Captain Crackrock called in 2 years ago. All he wanted to do was whine about how the white man is the oppressor because they will make a joke or they'll have some rhetoric. Meanwhile, they can call you all the names in the book. So it's like it's constant double standard with these people. But yeah, I think Cooley did great. Appreciate Cooley for that.
Well,
And hey, thanks for letting me call in and thanks for restreaming that
well,
dog.
before you go, I don't know if you got just a couple of minutes. There's some super
Yeah, yeah,
chatters who wanted to ask you some questions. Is that all right?
sure.
Okay. BK Finest says, Jay, who do you think is worse in a debate, Cap or Brian Shapiro?
You know, they were very similar because if you notice, it was very emotional. I will say that Brian Shapiro was more fallacious than Captain Tazariak because Captain T was actually only doing a couple fallacies over and over and over, whereas Brian Shapiro was like a machine gun of fallacies. It was actually hard for me as a seasoned debater to keep up with all the fallacies that Brian Shapiro was doing. So I'd actually have to say that Captain Zariak was a little bit better than Shapiro, but both very emotional.
Can I ask you a question I've always wanted to ask you, and I'll just ask it kind of live here. It's been my experience. I've done I don't know how many debates, as you know, especially political debates, and I've actually always found it harder to debate with stupid people than smart
Yes,
people. Do you have the same? Do you get the like kind
it
of the
is.
same thing?
Yeah, because the really stupid person will throw you a curveball because they're almost creative in their stupidity. Like you'll just be mystified by how they're like not understanding basic grammar, or like they come up with these weird curveball arguments, and you're like, I don't even know how to respond to that. It's so stupid. So actually, yeah,
And
stupid
they're
people
like,
have the
"Gotcha."
yeah, they think the curveball stupidity is a gotcha. Exactly.
Okay, I think that's fair. Clan asks, Jay, when are you going to go on Joe Rogan?
Would go as soon as possible, whenever that opportunity arises. If it does, I'd be happy to.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Do you have any great debates coming up, man?
Well, we have this other one with Captain Tazariak. I told Cooley I would be happy to debate anybody else anytime. And well, there was going to be whatever feminist podcast debate out here when we were here, but all three of the feminists backed out. In fact, apparently they all wanted money. They feel like they're worth thousands of dollars. Other than Captain Tazariak, there's not any big debates in the near future, but I'm always pretty open to any of that.
Now, Jay, I've been approached to host a debate. I wanted to get your take on this. There's a Protestant, um, I guess his name is Matt Powell, who has been pretty ruthlessly attacking orthodoxy. Do you know who Father Jonathan is?
If it's Father Jonathan Ivanov, I do know of him. He's an OCA priest who's hosted some podcasts and discussions and debates before. If that's him, I do know him. Yeah.
Okay, is he the real deal, Jonathan Ivanov?
He's a good, solid theological. He knows his stuff. So you're saying to host a bit debate between him and the Matt Powell guy?
I do. I do like hosting Orthodox clergy when I can.
Yeah, I think Father Jonathan would be. I've heard him do a couple debates with Protestants, and he held his own. So I think it would be pretty good.
All right. Well, then I think we're going to have to do it. Jay Dyer, anything
Yeah.
else you want to let the Crucible audience know before you head off? Any books you want to promote, maybe?
Well, That's the Dark Hollywood 3 is out. If you're interested, you can go to jaysanalysis.com in the shop and get signed copies there. Don't get it from Jeffrey Bezos, but you can get it from the website, all signed. Really appreciate that, Andrew.
Yeah. Also, is there anything you'd ever like to debate with Andrew? This comes in all the time. When am I going to debate Jay Dyer?
Uh,
Um,
Sure, we could have a fun civil debate if we could find something that we disagree on. So, yeah, I mean, I'm open to a fun, friendly debate. But yeah, if we pick something that we disagree on.
I'm backing down, Jay. I concede. I'm backing down. This is the first L ever for Andrew Wilson on this. I'm kidding. Look, my
Andrew, you never.
policy, I tend not to debate with friends anymore, especially I know that this sounds egotistical, but at the level that I'm at, people will in bad faith clip that
That's true. Yeah.
and cause all sorts of issues for me and the person that I'm debating with, even if it's just in good fun. I can't even do that with my friend Rob Knorr anymore. So, and we used to have those types of debates all the time, just because they were fun to do. To do the devil's advocate position, it helped both of us brush up. But people clip in such a bad faith way and pretend that I'm actually taking some of the positions I don't
Oh,
take when it's obvious. And I never think it's a good idea to debate with friends anymore. At
yeah.
least not
Well,
where I'm at.
that's probably a good idea to not do it. But if you wanted to do something kind of comedic or not super serious,
They'll
like
even
you
clip
said,
that, Jay.
oh,
One,
really?
I had a guy one time. I was mocking him about his position on mocking
Yeah.
him, and the mockery was pure as day in my voice, and they clipped that as though it was my position and tried to send it
Oh,
viral. So
no.
I just can't anymore. I wish I
Maybe
could.
it's not the right atmosphere for that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah,
So,
well, it is. I
yeah,
just think that when you have so many rifles pointed at you, you know what I mean,
right.
that you don't want to give them any ammo. So,
True.
Anyway.
Okay.
All right, Jay. Well, look, I appreciate the call in, man. Great debate. Thanks for letting the Crucible join you for the evening. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Yeah, take care, man.